Hello everyone, SMA Watts here. We are about to do a deck tech for the deck I played tonight. It is Pauper Domain Zoo. And this is a deck that's not too established. I only started seeing it about a month ago, and it really relies on Nylea's presence here from Theros, because Nylea's presence, the landed enchants becomes all basic land types, so it turns domain completely on. It turns on Wild Nicodle, and and since it's also a cantrip, it doesn't cost you a card, so it kind of gives you this nice. The deck runs way better when it draws Nylea's presence, but drawing an abundant growth is also quite useful. It also runs all of the fetch lands that it's allowed to run, so that enables it to easily find its 4/1 of basic lands. I am running normal basic lands, not snow-covered basic lands, and Lightning Bolt over Skred. There is a good argument that Skred is better. It is better against against all of the four toughness creatures that run around in Pauper. It's better against Affinity because it has all those 4/4s. It's better against Spire Golem. It's better against if you're playing against White Wing. It's better against Razor Golem. Someone else has and it's better against Grey Merchant. But I like the versatility of Lightning Bolt, and I didn't have Snowlands. I will say it probably should be Snowlands and Skred, almost certainly. I also, as far as my creatures go, let's go over them. Wild Nicodle is fantastic. Like, it is just, in this deck, it's super efficient, and just games where you draw multiple Wild Nicodles go so much better than games where you just don't see them. Squadron Hawk is good, but I really feel that I kind of wish there was Bone Splitter to go with Squadron Hawk. But there's just no room for it. Like, I wish there was something that made Squadron Hawk more of a threat on its own. It seems a little bit. I could easily see an argument for removing Squadron Hawk for something a little bit more either resilient or powerful. But Squadron Hawk plus Brainstorm is fantastic. Like, that is super powerful. I mean, you go Squadron Hawk, Brainstorm, put 2 Squadron Hawks back, play another Squadron Hawk, get the 2 Squadron Hawks you put back, and shuffle away everything, and you just Brainstorm became Ancestral Recall. It's amazing. Core Skyfisher, there is some very cool interactions with Core Skyfisher and Pitkeeper, as well as the Presence Eye, and the Abundant Growth. Since these are cantrips and this guy gives you a creature back, if you Skyfisher them in and bounce them, replay them, you get the effect more than once, and it's a very powerful. And Core Skyfisher itself is a nice body at 2/3. Porcelain Legionnaire was a mistake. It almost certainly should have been Matka Rioters, at least 2 of them. Probably 3 Matka Rioters and another Pitkeeper. Kasali Pride Mage, I'm actually not sure. Like, Kasali Pride Mage is a really powerful creature. It can attack for 3 if it's by itself. And it's also a disenchant. It's possible maybe it should have been 2 Matka Rioters, a Kasali Pride Mage, and a Pitkeeper. I don't know. Also, a lot of players don't run 4 Brainstorms. I love Brainstorm. But on the same hand, I decided it out most matchups. I feel that pre-sideboard 4 Brainstorms lets you find what you need for more of in the matchup, but it's probably a good idea to side out Brainstorms to bring in things that are better in the matchup rather than trying to dig for your Lightning Bolts and your Tribal Flames. Unearth, once again, Unearth is always really good with creatures that have come into play effects. Unearth plus Pitkeeper and Wild Nicodle is amazing. I mean, you can basically turn 2 mana into 2 creatures for 1 card, late in the game, and that can really turn the tide. Tribal Flames is very important. It is a sorcery. I didn't realize that. I'd never really played a domain deck before. I didn't play during any of the times that domain was a thing. So I lost one game because I didn't realize Tribal Flames was a sorcery and I thought it was just a really really weird like incinerate. Our sideboard. All right. Circle of Protection Black was like I mostly copied a sideboard. Made a few modifications, but figured Circle Protection Black. Obviously, it's for mono black control. I understand what it's for. Though the fact that it doesn't protect you from Gray Merchant means as a one of I'm not I like powerful one ofs, but since mono black control is not really going to sideboard against Circle of Protection Black, like you're not going to occasionally get them game 2 with it and then have them change their plan on game 3. So I'm not really sold on that. Doomblade, obviously this comes in against Affinity, and creature. It comes in creature heavy matchups where you just need more removal. Lone Missionary comes in against aggro, giving you life, being another body. It synergizes well with Pit Keepers and the core Skyfishers and the Unearths because getting more uses out of him is fantastic against things like Goblins and Stompy and even Delver. Pit Keeper comes in against matchups where you're going to be grinding a lot. Basically, anything that's not combo, you're probably going to want more Pit Keepers. But if like the decks that rely on like fogs and Delver Fiend, Pit Keeper's useless against them. Stagger Shock is a great powerful one of value card that you bring in against anything that has a lot of 2 toughness creatures. The built-in 2-for-1 potential is just fantastic. 10 Street Hooligan is for Affinity. I mean, you want to also bring it in against like Trinket or Tron, where they have artifacts where it can break, because it is a 2-for-1. It is a creature that comes in and and breaks it. It's not like Ancient Grudge, where it's like, well, I specifically need to be breaking artifacts for this to be useful. If this is just incidentally catching artifacts and artifact lands is amazing with it, it's probably worth bringing in. Scattershot Archers specifically for shooting fairies out of the sky with Delver. I know some use the one from Tempest that does -1/-1, and I can see how with 3/3s being able to -1/-1 a like a Spire Golem so that it can't you can't like double block. But I don't know. I just didn't feel there was enough of a difference to. I feel that the hitting each creature is potentially better enough against them over the incidentally taking off of power. Electrickery is obviously for Delver as well as for Hexproof, because Hexproof runs a lot of Boggles and Glade Cover Scouts and like all their creatures have 1 toughness, and this can, assuming you get it before the Armadillo Cloak comes down, it's fantastic. An argument could be made that maybe these should be edicts, and I would be willing to have that discussion. I think it might be correct. I've only played the deck a couple times. That's my impressions on the deck. I will say it's really fun. There's a lot of really complicated interactions in it, but it's a very enjoyable deck to play. I highly recommend giving it a try.